I'm Laren Perumal, Senior Manager Supply Chain Intelligence at SA Energy in Sasol. I'm responsible for the supply chain strategy and risk management and governance within the supply chain. Most organizations these days do have a comprehensive supply chain strategy developed. These strategies are ensured to make the organization more competitive with regards to low cost, differentiation, agility, and flexibility. Ultimately, the aim of each company is to ensure they make money. Strategies can include various aspects when developing a supply chain strategy. Typically, demand planning. Does an organization realize exactly what the market requires with regards to forecasting and planning of their product? Globalization. Has the organization catered for its international customers with regards to warehousing, manufacturing, transportation, and distribution? The increase and the impact of pricing. Is a company cost effective in terms of their supply chain? Outsourcing. Does a company know exactly what its core business is and ensure that part of its supply chain or all of its supply chain has been outsourced? Shorten price product strategies. Does a company know that its product differentiation strategy is in tune with the market? And last but not least, is a company close enough to its suppliers to ensure closer integration and relationship with its suppliers? Within the supply chain strategy, besides the competitive advantage of the environment, the company also has a responsibility for the social development of its country and contributing to labor issues and employment issues and education within the company itself. Supply chain strategies these days are also designed to ensure that it has a socio-economic impact on the environment these days. Typical aspects within the fuels environment includes your clean fuels and biofuels environment that has to be catered for within all supply chain strategies going forward. It is recommended that when in the formulation of a supply chain strategy, as part and parcel of that, as any other function that contributes to a supply chain strategy, typically HR, finance, so too should risk management be included and contribute and complement a supply chain strategy. Similarly, where you have a supply chain sphere and similarly the risk management sphere, where those two spheres interact, you would regard as your supply chain risk management. Typical risks faced by an organization these days include strategical risks, operational risks, customer risks, supplier risks, asset impairment risks, and reputational risks to an organization. Risk mitigation opportunities includes various options. One of them could be avoidance. A company could choose to say, look, part ways with a certain individual, organization, a company, and so forth to avoid the certain risks that they're currently being exposed to. Control the risks, put in the correct mitigation actions with regards to corrective and preventative measures to counter those risks. Cooperation. An organization could agree to partner or to go into a JV with another organization to ensure that certain risks within environmental, typically like your CSR risks, are countered. Flexibility. Is a company flexible enough? Is the supply chain of an organization flexible enough to cater for the risks within that particular supply chain? Speculation. Does an organization know and understand exactly what the demand of its product are within the market and speculate for that demand and provide ample product available for the market? Hedging. Due to the price fluctuations in organizations and markets, does an organization cater sufficiently for those price fluctuations via hedging? Central shared and transfer. Typically, does an organization have vertical integration, contracts and so forth with other organizations to cater for those risks? And last but not least, security. Relationships with government and typical port authorities and those organizations to make sure that their products are given the priority when it deserves. Benefits to supply chain risk management are far and beyond. They include typically ensuring that the right responsibilities are allocated to the mitigation actions for corrective and preventative mitigation actions to risk management. Risks are properly thought about and understood to make sure that those actions are dealt with the risks quite accurately. It gives the organization enough time to think about those risks. The correct skills are placed around the table. There are financial risks, operational risks. Those all require specific skills those individuals are now allowed to sit around the table, think hard about these risks, and make sure that the correct preventative and corrective actions are put in place. A recommendation would be to ensure risk management is properly embedded within an organization. An enterprise risk management organization is what is required. Institutionalizing risk management, ensuring that all the policies and procedures for risk management are properly rolled out throughout the organization. Individuals are trained with risk knowledge and expertise and sent out through the business, and properly utilize your resources within the organization to make sure risk is being discussed in all centers of the organization. Secondly, risk-orientated organization. Let's ensure that we have a risk-based organization, as we may have topics like safety and so forth being discussed in every meeting within an organization. So too should risk management. Each and every initiative, project, action that's taken within an organization should have a coupled risk management discussion to make sure that the objectives of that initiative and so forth have been properly achieved with all the risk mitigated with corrective and preventative actions. Upper management support is most crucial to make sure that the correct responsibilities are allocated to those corrective and preventative actions, and making sure that those actions are completed in time to make sure that the initiative achieves its goal. A structured matrix. Are we structured properly to ensure that risk management is embedded within an organization? A matrix or hub and spoke structure is highly recommended, where your enterprise risk management structure sits centrally and you get your risk specialists sitting within the different businesses, thus ensuring that all discussions have risks being discussed within them. Information system. Ensure that we have a properly, fully fledged information system capturing all risk within the organization and all the corrective and preventative actions for those risks, thus preventing duplication and misuse of resources. Last but not least, ensuring that there is a development plan for risk management and risk managers and risk specialists, so that engineers and learned individuals will want to take up within the field of risk management and make sure that risk management is embedded within the organization. This is how we recommend that risk management is properly embedded within an organization to support all initiatives from an operational level, tactical level, and your strategy within, be it a supply chain strategy or an organizational strategy. And that will make sure that risk management is properly used within the organization.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.